Welcome back to News Talk. The Maryland primary is now, get this, just 2 weeks away. And next Monday here on News Talk, we will host a debate involving the leading candidates in the race for the House seat being vacated by incumbent Congresswoman Donna Edwards. So join us live at 11 a.m. next Monday, the 18th, as we talk with former Lieutenant Governor Anthony Brown, former State's Attorney Glenn Ivey, and State Delegate Jolene Pena-Melnick. We're also spending time with some of the other candidates running in this crowded field. With us now here in the studio, Warren Christopher, a Democrat. Good to see you again. Thanks so much.
Great to be here. Thank you very much.
It is great having you with us. Talk about your bid for a seat in the United States House of Representatives, the House seat currently held by Donna Edwards. What propels you to this race?
Absolutely. Well, you know, I've served in our country's military in the United States Army. I'm a retired senior military officer, retired lieutenant colonel. I've worked in the United States Senate as a congressional fellow for the likes of Senator Hillary Clinton and Bill Nelson and Jack Reed on very important programs concerning veteran affairs, small business, and our Senate Armed Services Committee. And I've also been an executive in the executive branch as the Chief of Staff at the Department of the Interior in charge of business enterprise for the federal government. You know, Bruce, I've looked around our district and I've seen that when it comes to the most important things like constituent services, when it comes to bringing home our fair share of federal resources, whether that's prime government contracts, particularly in the 4th Congressional District, whether that is opportunities for job creation, we've lacked those opportunities. And when it comes to legislation for Senior Protection Act or for our veterans to protect their benefits or to reduce interest rates on student loans or to make sure that our minority-owned small businesses gain access to prime government contracts and to no or low interest rate loans. We've lacked in those areas, and I believe that I'm the best executive to be able to deliver for our district.
You're running in a race that features some names people will know. There's a temptation in politics, I think, for voters in terms of just name recognition, and also the media, and maybe donors too, maybe
Absolutely.
All of us involved in politics, to sort of gravitate consciously or unconsciously to the known. Are there reasons why people should not do that in general and in your race in particular?
Absolutely. Just take a look at some of my opponents. People have consistently ran, establishment politicians, career politicians that have ran for the offices, whether it's been 16 years, whether it's been 9 years, 8 years. And when you look at the indicators, whether it's our public education system and making sure that we're providing federal resources for that, one of the highest foreclosure rates in the state, whether it's the recidivism rate, whether it's the high interest rates on student loans, or the number of homeless veterans. We've gone to the polls each cycle. We voted for the same circle of career politicians, and we've gotten the same results. At some point, as Fannie Lou Hamer best said, we have to become sick and tired of being sick and tired of the same rhetoric, of the same results. And I bring that fresh vision. This is about a clean sweep and a fresh start, and I bring that leadership to the table to deliver that.
When you encounter voters at the supermarket, the metro station, wherever you meet people, how much of the time do you spend talking about your background to kind of try to get them at least willing to consider someone who's not one of the so-called named candidates? And to the extent that you are listening to voters, what do they tell you about the things that will sway their decision and are challenges in their lives at this moment?
Sure, absolutely. And I've ran a very aggressive grassroots campaign, whether that's been door knocking, whether that's been at the metro stations or in our churches or in our senior buildings. Voters are telling me that for example, our seniors, there's no rent control in Maryland. And for many of our seniors who are struggling to pay for prescription drugs, whether they're paying the high cost of rent, their rents are being increased, whether it is their concerns about Social Security. There are many young people that are talking about, unemployment and the lack of jobs that pay a livable wage, or small business owners that constantly are concerned about the lack of prime government contracts and the access to those contracts, or even returning citizens that feel like that they have been absolutely left out of the American promise. You commit the crime, you do the time, but you shouldn't have to pay for the rest of your life, particularly for nonviolent crimes like the use of marijuana. And so people are excited about me because I do bring that fresh perspective. I do bring that vision, and I'm not a part of what I well know as an establishment candidate platform.
You know enough about the Congress to know that serving in the minority is no fun. There's a chance, it's certainly the case now, that Democratic lawmakers in the U.S. House are in the minority. It is tough to get stuff done, particularly in this environment. What in your background speaks to the suggestion of being able to work across the aisle and get things done even when the odds are stacked against you?
Sure. You know, in the military, Bruce, I commanded Democrats, independents, and Republicans alike. And it was about getting the mission accomplished. When I served as an executive at the Department of the Interior, again, I led independents, Republicans, and Democrats alike. And even in the Senate, this is about making sure that we're able to work across the aisle to deliver for our seniors, to deliver for our veterans and our small businesses, to make sure that we are eliminating the interest rates on student loans so more of our children, particularly minority children, can go to college. I think that this is also about constituent services, though, and in our district, we've lacked that kind of access. And I'm talking about the constituent services that is about making sure that our veterans and our small businesses and our seniors know how to navigate the federal government to get the desired outcome that is going to benefit our community, rather, to make sure that we get the jobs that we deserve and the access and opportunity that we've worked for.
Warren Christopher is a Democrat. He's running for the House seat being vacated by incumbent Congresswoman Donna Edwards. He'll be on the ballot in the upcoming primary. Early voting's right around the corner, isn't it?
Absolutely. It starts on Thursday.
Thanks very much for your time. Good to see you again.
Thank you very much.